Good morning, YouTube. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. Well, I realize it may not be the morning when you're watching this, but it is the morning for me. I am pulling out my camera and I literally just walked around my apartment. And not that it's that big, it's a studio, but I just walked around my apartment and I was trying to find the best lighting, and this seems to be where it is the best. But wanted to intro this video and welcome you guys to another video. I have decided that this is gonna be it'll be kind of a vlog, but I also want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about tips for tracking macros and give you guys some of my tips and hacks to make it easier. So tracking macros, meaning tracking your protein, your carbs, and your fat. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about that. And I want to take this video to show you guys some of my food. I've changed up a few of my meals recently and I've been loving them. And I also want to show you guys some of my favorite, favorite meals, but also some favorite food items and some of my go-tos recently, because I know you guys love all the food stuff. So that is what you can expect from this video. So welcome aboard, enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys in the next clip. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys one of the first things I've been loving, and I've talked about this before, I believe, briefly, in maybe a couple videos ago, but this is my little decaf coffee cold brew creation. So I have to tell you guys, I have not even had the thought of going to Starbucks in probably over a month since I started doing this. And not that I was a Starbucks phenom before, but I always would try, I would go once a week or something because I do live really close to one. But ever since I started making this, I don't even have a thought for Starbucks. And it is my decaf coffee cold brew creation. So I essentially use instant decaf coffee, almond milk, some skinny syrup, which is a sugar-free coffee syrup. Sometimes I add my PESCIENCE chocolate greens, but I put it all in a blender bottle and I shake it up and I put it in the fridge for about an hour to kind of thicken. Oh, so good, you guys. I swear. And I always get asked why I drink decaf, and I'm not intolerant to caffeine or anything. That's not what it is. But I generally just drink coffee because I like the flavor, and I like having decaf because I don't think it tastes any different. In my opinion, it doesn't. And I like to save my caffeine for an energy drink or pre-workout if I want that. So I'm going to show you guys, I'll do a little time lapse or little video. I'm going to show you guys kind of how I put it together. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge. Like I said, if I put it in the fridge for an hour, it tends to kind of get a little bit thicker. Not in a gross way, but it's so good. But this is one of the things I have been loving. And this is from Aldi, I think, but I usually just get my instant decaf coffee on Amazon. Okay, you guys, so I am sitting down, and as promised, I was going to show you guys some of my favorite things in this video, and give you guys some tips for tracking macros. So specifically, I'm going to give you guys the biggest tip I have if you are tracking macros in this video clip. But first off, I want to show you guys what I'm drinking. I am drinking some tea, and I have never been a tea drinker. I will put that out there. I have always not hated tea, but I just don't like it because I always feel it kind of just tastes watered down, just bland flavor. But I have discovered this red rose tea. It is absolutely amazing. It's super inexpensive too. This whole pack I got from the store, I think it was $4. I can't, it's hard for me to be able to tell you where to get it because I think it differs. I found this at Winn-Dixie. I know not everybody has a Winn-Dixie, so best place to get it would just be Amazon. But I wanted to sit down and give you guys my biggest tip for tracking macros. And are you ready for it? It is that you should always pre-log your food the day before. If you are somebody that is looking to simplify the process of tracking your macros, meaning tracking your protein, your carbs, and your fat in a tracking device such as I use MyFitnessPal, pre-log your food the night before. It is such a lifesaver and also such a game changer. I think a lot of times people get very stressed and just overwhelmed when they're logging their food as they're going throughout the day. Because if you think about it, if you're making breakfast and then it's you have to take 5 minutes to log it into the app, and then you eat lunch, you take 5 more minutes to log it into the app, and you eat dinner, blah blah blah. It takes up little spurts in time throughout your day that you may or may not have, right? So save yourself the stress and take 5 or 10 minutes every night and just pre-log your food for the next day ahead of time. That way you get to wake up and you can just run through what you already have logged. I tend to do that, but I specifically did that every day in prep because, you know, that was part of my routine. I'd lay down in bed at night, I'd open my FitnessPal, I'd get in, you know, log my food for the next day. That way I woke up the next day and I didn't even have to put any thought into it. It's also a really good general tool because, you know, let's be honest, every once in a while we have those days where something comes up that we're just not expecting, and it can sometimes throw a damper in the day or throw our schedule off. And if you think about it, if you don't already have your food planned ahead of time and then you get something thrown into your day that kind of throws off your whole schedule, you're a lot more likely to just, you know, eat whatever, right? Or to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna not follow my macros today, I'll start tomorrow, right? So pre-log your food ahead of time. That is my biggest goal for tracking your macros. Like I said, I use my FitnessPal. I just get in every night, you know, and just log my food, you know, for the next day. That way I get to wake up and I don't even have to think about like, oh, what do I want to eat today? Or what can I eat to, you know, to fill these leftover macros that I still have left to hit. So that is tip number one. That is a huge tip. And if you do not already do that, I highly recommend doing so. So real quick, I'm showing you guys one thing I've been loving and one thing I just ate. You can kind of tell here, the evidence speaks for itself. It's empty, but I have been loving these tuna pouches. I really love the ginger sesame and the tomato basil and I think it's sweet and spicy flavors. But I get these at Walmart and I know that like you can pretty much get these anywhere. There's multiple different brands, but I've been getting these and they're a really easy, like quick protein source. And I know some people like think that canned, well, or like packaged tuna is gross. And honestly, I'll be completely honest, I didn't love it at first either. Like I thought of like tuna in a pouch kind of sounds gross, but these flavors in particular, especially the tomato basil, I think this one's my favorite, are really good and pretty flavorful. So the macros are 0 fat, 2 carb, 15 protein for this one. And you know, these make for really great travel options as well. If you need to travel and have some protein on the go, this is a really good like easy grab and go snack if you have to take something in the car. But I just had one of these and these have been, you know, what I would say a recent love of mine when it comes to food. I'm like pretty much always stocked up on these right now. So wanted to share that with you guys since I did say I was going to be sharing some of my favorite foods and kind of things I've been loving right now. So this is definitely one of them. Okay, as promised, I'm going to show you guys some stuff I've been eating. So I'm getting ready to make this meal and this bowl, it looks dirty, but it just has like stains on it. So I promise it's clean. So a little disclaimer there. But trick for tracking macros is I always put the bowl on top of my scale and then I will zero it out. This scale is really dirty too, so I apologize. So I zero it out. That way I can measure the food right as I put it in. So what I have here is my latest obsession and it is oat bran. If you guys have never had this before, because I had never had it until like a week ago, I just found it at Publix. It was on sale and I'm like, this looks decent. And what I really like is the macros are really good. It's actually really high in fiber. So 26 grams of carbs per 40 grams weighed out dry, and it's got 5 grams of dietary fiber. So what I do is obviously zeroed out the scale. So then I'm just going to pour, you know, the oat bran in until it gets to 40 grams. I don't know if I can do this multitasking, but it's pretty voluminous too. So not quite to 40. Oh, we're a little over. So, okay, we're at 42. So what I'll do from here is I'll pour a little out. But that is a general gist of how I measure most of my things out. I just put the bowl on top of my scale, zero out my scale, and pour whatever I need to in there. So a little macro tip, but I'm going to show you guys how I've been making this meal because I make it, then I add my Greek yogurt, and then I'm going to add some fruit, and it's just going to be delicious. Okay, this is what we are working with. I gotta stir it up a little bit, but I just cooked the oat bran. I'm gonna stir it up and get out these little clumps because sometimes it does clump up, so you have to stir it a lot. That is one thing I've noticed. And then what I'm gonna do is take my favorite Greek yogurt, which you guys already know is the Chobani Zero Sugar. I love this flavor. And I cooked the oat bran, I let it cool, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put about a half a serving of this into the oat bran and stir it up, and it's going to be nice and creamy and delicious. And I find that the oat bran is kind of like bland on its own, so this does help to add a little bit of flavor as well. Okay, so then then this is what we are looking like. I stirred and stirred and stirred, and as you can see, it looks a little fluffier, and it's so good because the Greek yogurt adds a little bit of flavor to kind of something that's otherwise a little bland. And then what I'm going to do is I have some banana, and I'm going to slice some banana and put it on top of this. So stay tuned, and then this is going to be the meal that I'm having. And like I said, I've kind of been on an oat bran kick lately, mainly because I just found it at the store. It was on sale, so it was really cheap, and I'm all for a bargain. And I bought it, and I'm like, this is actually pretty decent. So I'm gonna add some sliced nanner and then enjoy this meal. Okay, and the finished product, we got some sliced nanner. I had a few slices as I was weighing it out, but what I did is I put this on my food scale, another little macro hack, cut my banana, and then, well, I zeroed out my food scale first and foremost before I put the banana on top, and then I just weighed out the banana and put it into the bowl. So, gonna enjoy this little meal. I've been trying to have more fruit recently, so adding in like a serving of, or like 2 servings per day. I'm not really great at getting in fruit. I'm amazing at getting in veggies, but working on fruit. So I put some banana on top of this, and then, yeah, so I'm gonna enjoy this, and I will see you guys in the next clip. All right, friends, so I'm back home. Well, the last clip you saw was me making my oat bran. So that is the meal I typically have. Well, I mentioned I just started like trying oat bran, but I usually have a variation of that meal every day. So I did oat bran today, but sometimes I do oatmeal. Usually I do oatmeal. But that's the meal I have usually a little before I work out. I let it digest, you know, it keeps me full and keeps me fueled throughout my workout, so I like it. And that's a tip. So that's a tip that I want to give you guys for tracking your macros. Is you don't have to overcomplicate it, and you don't have to, you know, let's say you're getting bored with your meals, or you're getting bored just with what you normally eat day to day. Don't look at it as, oh my gosh, I need to add in a ton of like new foods. Sometimes it's just, you have to like flavor things differently, or like me, I tried oat bran instead of oatmeal, right? It's simple little things like that. Or maybe instead of doing plain rice cakes one day, you do tomato basil rice cakes, or maybe instead of chocolate rice cakes, you do caramel rice cakes, right? Or let's say you do protein oatmeal. Maybe one day you put, you know, a chocolate flavored protein in your oatmeal, and then the next day a vanilla flavored protein in your oatmeal. So it's little things like that that you can do to kind of switch up your food day to day, because I know I told you guys earlier in the clip that pre-logging your food ahead of time is going to be a lifesaver. And furthermore, kind of creating your own meal plan based off of your macros is going to be really helpful, you know, where you can create 1 or 2 days and literally cycle through them, you know, throughout the week. But like I said, you can always, you know, if you're somebody who gets kind of bored of food really quickly, you can make those simple swaps, like I just mentioned, without having to like go to the store and get a ton of new food. So what I did is I just did get back from the store, and I picked up a few things. But I picked up some, I'll show you guys. Well, it's not that, don't mind my messy apartment, I need to clean up. It's not that exciting, but eggs. I picked up some eggs, and then I also picked up some tofu, which I'll show you guys how I actually make it in the next clip. But what I like to do, and this is like another tip, is specifically with protein sources, I like to get a few protein sources and prepare them in bulk so I can store it in my fridge. And it's an easy way to just grab and go protein source. It's a really easy way to just grab things and not have to like actually sit down and cook them as I enjoy them, because sometimes protein can take a while to make. So I like to hard boil my eggs, and then I keep them in the fridge. And then my tofu, I like to air fry. So I'll show you guys what I do with that in the next clip, but that's another tip, is get some protein sources in bulk. And you can even do this with carb sources. Like if you want to make sweet potatoes or rice, get some sources in bulk, prepare them in bulk, store them in your fridge. That way it's an easy grab and go situation throughout the week. So another thing I am legit obsessed with, and you guys may know this because I feel like I'm such a repeat offender, so I feel like sometimes my videos are so boring because I show a lot of the same things, but air fried veggies. Not only that, but call me lazy or efficient, I take these like frozen veggie bags from Walmart. So these are Brussels sprouts, obviously. I popped them into my air fryer, and I like to air fry them, and air fried veggies are delicious. So obviously they're plain right now, but what I'll do is I will air fry veggies and I'll, you know, use them as a side for a meal, and I'll put seasoning on them. I don't eat them plain, you know, like I could, but they're not gonna have a ton of flavor. But air fried veggies are amazing. Like I said, I don't know, call it lazy, call it efficient, but I grab these frozen bags of veggies from Wally World. So I like to get the Brussels sprouts. I also like to get the carrot, like little carrot slices, the little circles, and the French green beans. So those are the frozen veggies I like to get. And then I throw them straight into the air fryer, and then I cook them until, like, sometimes they're a little crispy, sometimes I get a little impatient and take them out like when they're just kind of warm. But that is how I eat a lot of my veggies. So a little hack there. And another thing that I have just been loving, even though this is not a recent thing, like I feel like I've been doing this for a while, but little hack if you didn't already know, that you could stick frozen veggies in the air fryer. So full disclaimer, I got a little happy or hungry, I guess you could say, before I filmed this clip and kind of dove into this a little bit, but just showed you guys my air fried Brussels sprout obsession. So those are what you see underneath the tofu. So I actually made little tofu nuggets, and again, I told you guys at the beginning of this video, I've been trying to just try some new things and just like try 1 or 2 new foods or whatever. So I got some tofu. First off, it's super cheap at the store, but I get the extra firm tofu, just cut it up into little pieces like this, and then I put it into the air fryer, and you can see they're kind of like a little golden, kind of crispy, but they're soft on the inside. So kind of already had some of those, but there was more there. So that's what that is. And then I have a whole egg and an egg white, and then I have a peach, because I told you guys yesterday that it is my goal to start having more fruit. And I feel like fruit is one of those things, like the more you don't eat it, the more you just like don't want it or don't crave it. At least that's how it is for me. But the more you eat it, the more you crave it. So trying to get in about 2 servings of fruit per day. But yes, this is what I am eating. Again, apologies, my phone or my camera did not eat first. I kind of dove into this a little bit, but that is that nice micronutrient dense packed meal. Okay, you guys, so I am just chilling on my bed, putting my feet up. I feel like my recovery this week has been kind of not so great, so I'm trying to like lay back, kick up, put my feet up, but I wanted to end this video and kind of a wrap up and debrief on my tips for tracking macros. So the biggest tip I can give you if you track macros, or if you're somebody who is new to tracking your macros, is, like I said at the beginning of the video, pre-log your days ahead of time. That will save you so much stress, so much time, because what happens is sometimes if you especially if you're new to this, if you log your food as you eat it throughout the day, you're gonna find like come 6 p.m., you're playing what I like to call macro Tetris, meaning you're like, okay, I got 2 grams of protein, 10 grams of fat, and like, you know, I don't know, 27 grams of carbs. What can I eat for those macros? And you're gonna find that you have to like come up with some bizarre things. So that's why pre-logging will save your life. And furthermore, if you're a busy individual, which most people are, right? Whether you work or not, you know, if you're even just like a stay-at-home mom, you're busy, right? And creating a meal plan for yourself is gonna be really helpful. So sitting down, I like to sit down on like a Saturday, on a Sunday before I go to the grocery store, and really figure out what I am going to have for my bulk meals throughout the week. That's going to be really helpful too. And what you can do is you can create a meal plan and create 1 or 2 days and kind of cycle back and forth between them throughout the week, and then change it up every week. And then going back to what I said like a few clips ago, what you can even do is, you know, you don't have to, you can make simple little swaps, you know, each day to kind of trick your brain into thinking you're eating different foods when you're really not. So, you know, maybe one day you do chocolate rice cakes, and then the next day caramel rice cakes, or then, you know, maybe one day you do chocolate protein powder in your oatmeal, but the next day you do vanilla protein powder, or maybe one day you do blueberries on top of your oatmeal, but then the next day you do something like, I don't know, raspberries or banana. So simple switches like that can kind of make a difference without you having to like put forth too much effort or having to go to the grocery store and buy new things. But, you know, another big tip that I kind of want to end this video on, if you are somebody who is new to tracking macros, first off, know it gets easier with time. You may be sitting here, if like you're new to tracking macros, thinking, oh my God, this is so tedious. this is so time consuming, but it gets to a point where like right now, I could easily like, you know, I could be sitting here in bed and be like, oh, okay, I have 30 grams of carbs left. Like what can I eat for 30 grams of carbs? Like in my head, I know what foods have 30 grams of carbs, right? Like I'm like, oh, okay, I could do 3 rice cakes, or I could do a packet of my favorite oatmeal, things like that, right? So tracking gets so much easier with time, just give it time. But my last just like generalized tip is, for tracking macros, always have your fridge and your pantry stocked. So the way I like to do it is I like to break it down every week when I go to the grocery store and break it down into, okay, what protein sources am I gonna get? What carb sources am I gonna get? What fat sources am I gonna get? And then I have like a little miscellaneous category for like produce or seasonings or whatever. But always keep your fridge and your pantry stocked with protein, carbs, and fat. Like always make sure at all times you have that stuff, you know, prepped and ready to go. That way, you know, you don't find yourself meandering in the pantry and eating something you shouldn't because, oh crap, I don't like have any protein in my house, so I'm just gonna have a bowl of cereal instead, right? So always keep your fridge, always keep your pantry stocked, and furthermore, try and keep things prepped in your fridge. Like I said a few clips ago, I like to keep hard-boiled eggs already prepped. I like to keep, you know, prepped chicken or whatever it may be in the fridge. That way I don't have raw chicken sitting in there that I'm like, oh, I have to cook, you know, because that can kind of deter us from actually like eating what we're supposed to eat if it's not already cooked. So prep stuff ahead of time. It will save your life. But I'm going to wrap up this video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this wasn't too boring of a video. I hope you guys got some little golden nuggets out of it. But if you've made it this far, thank you. And I appreciate you. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and you guys, once I hit 4K subscribers, I'm going to do a big giveaway. So please, please, please do me a huge favor and share my channel on Instagram or with, you know, anybody who you feel like would like it, because once I hit 4K subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. So exciting stuff, but I hope that wherever you guys are at in the world, that you're having an amazing day, and I will catch you guys in the next video.